everything we thought we knew about this Alabama team going into the season opener against Florida State, we might have to scrap all of it. Let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? Clint Lamb with A to Z Sports and Cover Crimson. So everything that we thought we knew about this Alabama team going into the 2025 season, I really don't know what to make of it at this point. I don't know what to scrap, what not to scrap. We might have to scrap all of it because I just don't know whether it be from a competitive spirit standpoint, whether it be from an execution standpoint, maybe it's the play calling. Regardless of what it is, I think coaching is playing a part in this. And I got to be honest with you, I did not see that coming whatsoever going into this season. I thought Alabama's coaching staff was going to be a massive strength, but I also thought that a lot of things were going to be strengths. And if you take the Florida State game, we probably need to reevaluate some of those things. You know, I thought they came out to start the game and they seemed physical up front offensively. The running backs, they were running hard. Richard Young was getting north-south, doing a lot of the things that we thought he could do as a running back. You were seeing a lot of different guys rotate in. The offensive line was generating movement off the football. You saw that the passing attack, while Ty Simpson pretty much from the jump was kind of bailing sometimes on clean pockets, I thought the passing game was fairly effective. He did a pretty good job of extending plays with his legs. Sometimes he would take off and put Alabama within striking distance of getting the first down. But, you know, I thought it was a good combination of things. And when you talk about a 17-play, 75-yard drive that took almost 9 minutes off the clock, that's kind of the polar opposite of how Alabama started the 2024 season, where they could score quickly and they were a quick strike offense, but you didn't see them be able to sustain and run clock and give their defense enough opportunities to kind of catch their breath. The first drive of this game, you thought, okay, Alabama can do the ball control thing. They can really set the tempo of a game. I understand it was a scripted drive, but when you talk about things like getting pushed off the line of scrimmage, doesn't matter if it's scripted or unscripted. The play is the play, and the execution is the execution. And while the play calling might not be as in sync when it's not scripted, you know, the fact that the offensive line after that first drive really couldn't create consistent movement off the line of scrimmage, I don't know what happened there. But there was obviously a ton of frustration from fans, very understandable. And once again, you know, we talk about guys saying the right things and the right approach in the offseason. You know, you talk to David Ballou, the strength and conditioning coach, and he's talking about how guys have approached things the right way. And the first thing they told everybody following the disappointing last season, if you don't want to be here, leave. You know, we don't want you here. Well, you know, I mean, it all sounds wonderful, but at a certain point, you've got to actually start executing some of this stuff on the field. And up to this point, it has been 14 games of the Kalen DeBoer era, and we're just not seeing this team be competitive enough in some of these contests where it's like, okay, no one really gave Florida State a chance. They could end up being way better than we all thought they would be. But going into this game, they were a 13.5-point dog. They were being disrespected. Yes, Tommy Castellanos was saying a lot of things and trying to give his team motivation, but really the disrespect from everybody outside of Tallahassee. I mean, I understand why they came in and played the way that they did with a chip on their shoulder and give them massive props for that. But for Alabama, you were a 13.5-point, a double-digit point favorite again, and you come out flat and disappointing. I really don't know what to make of that. It is an issue that has to be resolved. Some of these problems, like Ty Simpson being willing to bail on a clean pocket, that's going to get better with time. You know, he's going to get more experience, and you're going to see him kind of climb out of that habit, at least to a certain extent, as he gets more comfortable, you know, when things are going live on Saturdays. But some of these issues, the competitive spirit of some of the guys on the roster and just the unwillingness for anybody to step up and make demands of everybody else. Hey, it's not a matter of, hey, let's go out there and try to score. We are scoring, and we're not going to accept anything less. You could tell Florida State, they came into this game with a chip on their shoulder. They were going to do things their way, and they pushed Alabama around on both sides of the football. Yes, there were some good moments. Yes, there were some good players. Jeremy Bernard deserves a lot of credit. But overall, what we got on Saturday relative to the expectations, which I accept full responsibility for based off of people that I talked to behind the scenes, what was said publicly, I drank the Kool-Aid as much as anybody. At this point, I'm no longer going to do that. It is all going to be proven on the field. No more words, no more talking to people behind the scenes, and this guy's improving in practice, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's saying the right things. Moving forward, The only thing that matters that we will discuss is what is happening on the field and what guys are doing as far as how we feel about how far this team can go. And I don't know at this point if they're going to be able to turn this around, because this was as ugly as I have seen it in a very long time. Maybe they do get it turned around. And if they do, great. But at some point, something's got to give. You have an opportunity to get things right, get some guys some confidence against Louisiana Monroe. But at this point, nothing is a given for this team. They've got to actually start taking, instead of being given off-season awards by people like me, they need to actually start taking things or earning things on the field. Hopefully they're able to do that, but time will tell.